it's not with just with Mitch, but with Morgan, Kasha. We've got a number of guys there that are going to be game time decisions tonight as we get through the day.
Still have to just go through how they're going to.
Yeah.
Okay. What is it about the Wild that you see in the pre-scout that makes them a dangerous team to play?
Deep team all the way through their forward group. Their defense are very involved in their offense, and they defend well as a team. They play hard. Great mix of skill and speed, size, checkers. Like they have a real good team that complements one another all the way throughout it. So and they got lots of energy. They're feeling good and confident, just like we are. So it'll be a good game tonight.
Worst case scenario, if those three guys couldn't play, do you call anybody up, or do you have enough bodies?
Yeah, I don't think we're not expecting to be a situation where we're going to need three, but we do have two extra guys here, so we think we'll be okay.
You talked about certain adjustments specifically for Colorado without giving away the store. I mean, maybe you do it for every game, but do you have to tailor what you're doing tonight to how well they're playing and how they play?
I think we just got to make sure we're on top of our game. I mean, that was the big thing. We made some tactical adjustments against Colorado that we thought helped us, but really it was just that we were able to get on our game quickly and establish our game, and that's what will be important here today. Then it's not just a start, of course, but just sustaining it through. This team's not going to go away. They compete right to the final buzzer. So it's going to be, I'm sure, a loud and intense environment in this building here tonight, and they play well in this building. We just got to make sure we're focused on our game. We've been playing really well as a team, and it's going to require our best tonight.
Is it a tricky balance when you are playing well to kind of incorporate things or new things? Like you've changed the lineup even when you guys have won before. You've made all kinds of adjustments. Like when the good times are rolling, is it harder to get the message across?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think it's important that you stay on top, but I mean, to just think that you're just going to throw your gear on and go out again the next night and be at your best, and it's going to happen. I think that's a mistake. It's on us as a coaching staff to stay on top of our group and make sure that they're prepared every day. We don't change our preparations. We keep the focus on our team, but make subtle adjustments and make sure our players are aware of what we're going to face and what the game will feel like. That's the biggest thing we try to do in our preparations. There's just not a whole lot of tactical things that change, especially back in a normal type schedule now. You're playing so many different opponents. You're really focused on your own game, but it's really trying to give your team a sense of what the game will feel like. It's going to be loud in the building. They're not going to give you a lot of space. They're going to forecheck hard. They're going to be all around your net. Like those are the kind of things that you talk about, and that are just the details inside your structure and what you really want to emphasize.
You play a team like the Islanders. You know what kind of game it's going to be. It's going to be a defensive style game. You played Colorado. Now you're playing Minnesota. A couple of dynamic teams. Is it harder for you to pull in the reins to make sure, or they don't want to run and gun with them?
Yeah, I mean, it's not something with Colorado it was a bit of a concern. That's that type of game. This team here, they've got, as I was saying, they've got a great mix and balance of speed and skill that can play in transition on the rush. But then, I mean, of all teams, in the league, they're right at the top in terms of being around your net and big bodies around the crease and pucks going in there and outnumbering you around your net. So it's really making sure we're dialed in on the competitive areas of the game today, being good on the walls and protecting our net, getting to their net. Those kind of things are really important here today. So I'm less concerned about the run and gun aspect of it and more so about how we manage things on our own end and how much time we can spend on their half.
You sure to mention Bunting's role in the success of that lineup landing. I'm just wondering what you've seen from him and what's made him effective, I guess, the second go around here.
Yeah, he just looks a lot more comfortable here now. I think he's more comfortable on our team. He's more comfortable on that line. He's more comfortable in the league. I think he's made subtle little plays with the puck and getting the puck into those guys' hands. But also he's forechecked. He's won puck battles. He's around the net. He's because of how he competes and how he's around the puck and around the net, he brings attention to himself, which I think is very important, obviously, in playing with the caliber of players that he's with there. So that opens up more space for them, and that's an important factor.
Justin doesn't have a point yet this season, but he seems to think that'll turn around. Do you ever look at individual stats in case it kind of pulls up a flag from like the basic stats like that for a player's confidence, or do you just kind of worry about what he's doing defensively well there?
Yeah, well, I think it's player to player. I think, in Halsey's case, that's not what he's here for. You want to see all your defensemen contribute in the way we play. Our D have the green light to be involved and be engaged, and we're always looking to get more from our defense. I mean, we think there's room there, but for Halsey in particular, he plays mainly in defensive situations, and that's his priorities, is keep people away from our net, move the puck up the ice, get it to the hands of the forwards, and you like to think eventually some of those kind of things will lead to, generating some, maybe second assists and things of that nature. But, when he's at his best, he brings us great value defensively in how he plays against other teams' best people and helps us on the penalty kill. And I think he's coming off of what I thought was his best game the other night against Colorado. I thought he was really good. First period, he made a few really great plays off the breakout that really helped us get out of our end and launch our attack and get us started on offense. And those are the kind of things I come to expect from him.
What makes your team so successful getting out of your own zone cleanly?
Well, I think we've got a lot of skilled players and poise and try to keep support around the puck. I think, one of the areas we're trying to get better at is getting out cleanly the first time. That's a great challenge, is getting out the first time. We often, we end up getting the puck back, say, a second or third time after we maybe don't get through pressure. And then we end up getting out clean and we get on our way. But we'd like to get out faster and cleaner that way. But we try to put our players in positions where they can hang on to pucks and change sides and do things that get the other team on the run a little bit and give us a little more space in our own end. But it's a challenging thing to do off of the initial forecheck, and that's an area we're trying to get better at.
Is Wall okay to back up tonight, or is he one of the guys?
He's going to be one of the guys as well. We're going to make a decision on him. Obviously, he got through yesterday's practice really well. They just want to see how he is through this morning and this afternoon. Jack will play tonight.
Do you spend any extra time on a specific guy? Like, this is the first time your players have played against Caprizov. Does he warrant extra morning preparation?
Yeah, he's involved in the pre-scout. You're talking about little subtleties in his game. He's such a dynamic player. As we're going through it, it's really hard to pinpoint one or two things in his game because he's so dynamic and so good at so many different things in different areas of the ice. So we do just talk about him and talk about how confident he is and how that line is really rolling and how they find each other and the chemistry they have. But our focus really just remains on trying to make those guys have to defend and spend time in their own end, and that's the best way to play against them. And when it is time for us to play on defense against them, which inevitably we will, we've got to defend hard, keep them away from our net, and be aware of where they are. Caprizov in particular has got a great ability to kind of get lost, and then the puck finds him, and he's so dangerous. So if anything, that's the piece we've discussed. But he's a dynamic guy that finds ways to produce.
Last one for me. Kyle mentioned Bunting and that fit on the top line. Has Kerfoot become a better fit than ever on the Tavares line? Is he playing the best as a lead forward?
Yeah, I think he's playing very well. I don't know if I would say it's better than ever necessarily, but I think what's happened with him is it's been the most consistent role that he's had probably over a period of time here now on that line. He's a guy that's been sort of the Swiss Army knife for me that we've moved around, and every time we've had an injury or wanted to change something, he's been the guy that we've moved, from whether it's the wing on different lines or playing center and moving around that way. He's consistently played in that line, and he's done a really good job. And whether it's his turn and he gets a chance to finish and score, he's done that well. He's made plays, and he's been a real driver both ways for me. Forecheck, the way he skates up the ice, the way he tracks and comes back on defense. So it's not just the offensive pieces. He's produced at a really good rate for us at 5-on-5, but he does a lot of good things defensively, and the intangible pieces on offense, that you don't think about much in terms of how he forechecks and creates loose pucks and things like that for Willie and John. And then he's been terrific on the penalty kill. So, we've really liked his game this year.